couple observations. First of all, earlier on it was mentioned about trying to compare subsidies to the oil industry and the gas industry. The Republicans I know are against any subsidies to oil and gas or anybody else. We believe that, again, picking winners and losers are subsidizing corporations, that we call it crony capitalism. It's a major issue in our party, and we are basically against it. I think that basically people, however, have been calling subsidies what is instead a Republican position of permitting people to keep more of their own money as if that's a subsidy. I think that the numbers that are being bandied around are based on that versus taking money from someone else and giving it to a large corporate entity. That is a subsidy. Perhaps permitting people to keep more of their own money is not. That's one observation. And the other observation is, with all due respect, Mr. McCall, it is disconcerting that the executive director of a major government program is unwilling to actually commit to providing all the documents that an investigation committee of the Congress has requested, and that the answer is being given in using weasel words, is what we used to call in the press. That is not more, it's more than unbecoming. It's depressing to see that someone of your stature will take that approach instead of just saying, yes, we will provide all the documents to an investigative body of Congress that they have requested. And this is, to me, it's unacceptable. I think that, however, this reflects quite often the things we have faced from this administration. Any other administration, I would think, if they were being actually serious and they were being wanted to reach out to Congress with goodwill, would admonish someone for not saying that they were going to be fully cooperating with every document that's been requested. With that, let me go to a little bit about the basic philosophy of this program itself. Mr. Kats, who is actually making the loan? Where does the money come from when someone gets a loan guarantee from this agency?
Good question, sir. So as I understand it, in the companies that we've been involved in that have applied for the loan, there's a broad categories such as nuclear, renewables. The private sector companies try to find private sector financing,
right,
are not able to do so. They then apply to the loan guarantee program, which uses third-party engineering firms to screen it. And if they're successful, and one of the applications we made actually was not successful to the program, which reflects, we think, a lot of rigor, then the loan guarantee is made available, the project is built, it's demonstrated at a new scale, and then the private sector funding takes over.
Who is actually giving the money?
So the DOE loan guarantee makes available a credit of the federal government in a way that makes this program self-financing. So what I think the private sector would say to you, sir, and what industry would say to you is that this program both achieves a public policy purpose of making the United States more competitive and creates jobs, and yet it's self-financing. So the money that...
Okay, so does that mean the federal government is writing a check to the company?
The U.S. government in this self-financing program, so there's zero net cost to the federal government of this program.
I'm trying to get specific. Who actually gives the money to the company that is now able to build their project?
So the loan program makes available risk support to the company to allow construction of projects in order to unlock and leverage private capital. That gets returned back to the government in the form of interest.
Who actually gives the company the money? So is it a private bank? Is it a Goldman Sachs? Is it who gives them the check that says, okay, you now have this money and you can move forward with your project?
Let me turn it over to Mr. McCall to answer that, if I may.
Okay.
So thank you for the question.
Please hurry, that is called votes again.
Okay. The answer is it could be either private sector banks. So if the applicant has is working with its own bank, but that bank was unwilling to finance it without a guarantee from the government, we can issue the guarantee to that third-party bank, or we can issue a guarantee to the federal financing bank.
Okay, but it's not coming from, you don't get to give them a check to that company.
Well, the Department of Energy does.
There's no federal checkbook that's writing out to you. It's going to actually, the only federal check would go to a bank or a lending institution that is a profit-making lending institution, in most cases, I would imagine. So we have taken a profit-making government, Goldman Sachs or whoever, and we have told them that they will have a guarantee, so there will be no risk that they will lose their money, and then they give it to the company who needed the investment. Is that what it is?
Well, so we would issue the guarantee to the bank. I believe in the case of, if
Right.
it's a third-party bank, I think that we're limited to only guaranteeing 80% of the loan. So I think the bank would actually have some of its own capital.
I'm
at
going
risk.
to ask the
Okay,
gentleman.
but just one point here, and that
Hurry-
is,
hurry.
if we are taking away the risk for people who, and they are making a profit on that loan, if in a private company, that seems like, boy, that is again picking winners and losers as well. Who gets to provide a risk-free loan because you're going to make a certain amount of profit on it no matter what? So that doesn't seem fair as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, gentlemen. Mr. Knight, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
All